Welcome back to a Building Blocks Breakthrough Journey. In today's video, we are going to start talking about building block number 1, initiating. But I just want to quickly remind you that it's building blocks 1 and 2 that's where all the detail happens in your project, where you write it all out, and this is the foundation to your project. Now, this is what I am 100% convinced that this is what has made the difference, meaning that I have not only attained my weight loss goal, but I am now empowered to sustain it. So many people might want to think, I'm just going to skip through this building block 1 and also building block number 2. But I'm telling you, don't do it, because this is where the magic happens. This is where you get the foundation that will enable you to attain and sustain your weight loss goals. So let's get to it. Building block number 1 has 3 components: a challenge, and then also a task that I want you to complete. Now, we're going to break this up into several different videos, but today we are going to talk about the first component, which is the case, or often referred to as your purpose statement. It also, going through this process, it defines your why this project is so important. And so there are 3 questions that I came up with in order for me to really get a strong grasp as far as my why. And so the first one is, why did I decide to take on this project? Well, I did because after the accident and all of the weight that I gained, I have to tell you that I was completely stripped of my confidence, and also my identity was taken away. Now, I let far too much time in my life to pass by with not being able to find the right approach that worked for me, that enabled me to lose the weight. And so what I did is I just kept going and kept trying and kept working on it until finally I created this process that worked for me. And so why is this project so important to me is the second question that I always ask myself. Well, my sister was only 57 years old when she passed of breast cancer. And then our mother passed just 4 months later. Well, as you can imagine, that was a terrible time in my life, but it also pointed out to me just how fleeting life is. And I know that they would do anything to be here with us. And so I just felt that it would be so disrespectful and showing that I was unappreciative of the opportunity of still being able to live my life here, is that I committed to myself that I was going to live my life to the fullest. And what that meant for me is that I needed to find a way to be the best me and the healthiest version of myself. Now, what led to the point for me to finally take on this project is that, again, for me, it circles back to the accident and all of the weight that I gained. Well, it goes without saying that I finally reached the point where I was so exhausted and I was so unhappy with the direction that my life was taking. I mean, it wasn't so much that I was physically exhausted as I was mentally exhausted, and I was so disappointed in myself that I was not able to get myself back on track. I mean, I have to tell you, I so often would think about the Becky that used to be before the accident, and I will tell you, I missed her. I missed her confidence, and I missed her ability to be able to just go for whatever it was she wanted to do. And I know that it was because she had a discipline. She had a discipline where she lived a healthy life, and she lived it to the fullest. And she benefited from that healthy lifestyle and all the rewards that came along with it. So that, my friends, that is my why, or my North Star. And so when you go through the process and you answer these questions, then you will be able to define your why, or your North Star. And again, when I stumble, which I will during this project, is that I will come back to my why, or the answers that I provided to these 3 questions. So there you have it. That is the first component of building block number 1. And it's just, again, it is such an important piece of the puzzle because it's part of the foundation that I know with all my heart that has enabled me to attain and sustain my weight loss goal. So I'm going to sign off for now, but this is Coach Becky, your go-to resource for healthy weight loss transformation. And in the next video, we'll tackle the second component to building block number 1, which is the problem statement.